In his final days, one of the 20th century's most formidable strategic thinkers, Henry Kissinger, wasn't looking back at the world he helped shape. No, he was looking forward, and he was sounding an urgent alarm about the world that's coming. His very last work wasn't just another analysis. It was a warning about the future of humanity itself.
And get this, the book opens not with some dry technical breakdown, but with this incredibly powerful tribute from his co-authors. It just immediately frames the whole subject with this immense gravity. It makes it really clear that for Kissinger, the rise of AI wasn't just another policy issue, it was a question of human survival.
To really get the urgency of this book, you kind of have to try and see the world through his eyes. For decades, his whole world was about managing the risk of nuclear weapons, which, don't get me wrong, was terrifying, but it was an ultimately human-made tool. But he saw AI as something else, something completely new, a form of non-human intelligence, posing a risk that's not just existential but profoundly unknown.
And that contrast is everything. So let's dive in. Why did the guy who spent his life helping to shield humanity from nuclear war dedicate his final days to sounding the alarm on AI? What did he see that got him so concerned?
Think about it. The nuclear threat, as horrifying as it was at least understandable, right? It was a problem of physics and human game theory. We built the bomb, we knew how it worked, and we could create rules and doctrines, things like arms control, to try and manage it.
But AI? Kissinger argues it's nothing like the bomb. Not even close. It's not just another powerful tool we've invented. It represents a fundamental break from every single invention that has ever come before. This is where we really see why this time is so different.
Let's think about it this way. We're not just building a better calculator or a faster car. For the first time in history, we are engineering an inorganic counterpart to the human brain, a brand new form of intelligence with qualities that are profoundly, deeply non-human.
And the differences here in what they can do are just staggering. I mean, AI operates at a speed, a scale, and with an opacity that we just can't even begin to match. It processes information 120 million times faster than our brains. It can scale up almost without limit because it's not stuck inside a physical skull. And, maybe most importantly, its reasoning is often a complete black box.
For 500 years, the scientific method has been our guide. We demand proof. We demand to understand how a conclusion is reached. But with AI, we can know what it concludes, but we often have no idea how. And that forces us to rely on a new kind of faith in its logic, which is a massive departure from the whole spirit of the Enlightenment.
Okay, so what happens when you unleash an intelligence like that on the world? One that's unimaginably fast, can grow without limits, and whose reasoning is a total mystery to us. Well, this is where the book really dives into the massive existential dilemmas we're now facing.
Yeah, this isn't just about efficiency or upgrading our systems. This technology fundamentally challenges our ideas about reality itself, our security, our politics, even our relationship with what we call truth. And this is the central question Kissinger kept coming back to. He was afraid that our reliance on this opaque, non-human intelligence could actually trigger a return to a pre-modern age, an age of unexplained authority. Only this time, the authority wouldn't be a king or a priest. It would be a machine. And that fear of a dark enlightenment leads to what the book's foreword calls its most chilling section, the AI arms race. The potential outcomes here are, well, they're terrifying. Humanity could lose control of the whole thing. A single winner could achieve absolute, unchecked power. Or a desperate country, afraid it's about to lose, could launch some kind of preemptive strike, kicking off a conflict that's just beyond our wildest nightmares.
So, with stakes this high, what on earth do we do? The book argues that we are standing at a monumental fork in the road, and unlike other big tech shifts, we can't just drift into this future. We have to make a conscious, defining choice.
The book frames this huge choice in two really distinct ways. On one path, we have coevolution. We basically become more like the machines, using stuff like brain-computer interfaces to merge with AI. The other path is coexistence. We try to make the machines more like us by succeeding at the enormous challenge of AI alignment.
So that first path, coevolution, is a massive bet on engineering ourselves just to keep up with our own creation. Sure, it could mean we stay partners with AI at the frontiers of discovery, but the risk is absolutely immense. It could fundamentally change what it even means to be human, maybe even split our species in two.
And the second path, making them more like us, well, that requires us to do something we've frankly struggled with for millennia:
clearly define our values, and then successfully embed them into a non-human intelligence. It is a monumental technical and philosophical task. So when you're faced with a choice that profound, one thing becomes crystal clear. We cannot just stumble into this future. We can't be passive. The book's final section is an urgent plea for a conscious strategy, a new beginning for how we see our place in the world.
And this might surprise you, but the very first step in this strategy isn't technical at all. It's philosophical. Before we can even dream of aligning AI with our values, we first have to agree on what those values are. We're being forced to ask, what fundamentally do we want to preserve about being human?
The book offers this up as a kind of North Star, human dignity. It suggests our real value isn't in being the smartest or the fastest. We're going to lose that race. It's in our unique human capacity to inspire, to express, and to decide in the face of uncertainty. That's the essence of what we must fight to preserve.
And that leaves us with the book's final, haunting question. It connects the end of a great human intelligence, Kissinger's own, with the birth of this new, artificial one. He helped lay the groundwork for the world we live in. And now, his final work asks us to think about what kind of world this new intelligence will create. What will be its beginning, its genesis? That is the challenge he left for all of us.